your father here. Today we are going to review Cthulhu Attacks, Book 1, The Fear. This is a book written by Hoade, and this is a Lovecraftian novel, as you can see. One of the first interactions I had with this book, I just recently bought it, and this is a two-part novel. The first one is, like I said before, The Fear, and then there is the second novel, The Faith, also written by the same author, and it was a collaboration. It was written by another author. One of the most interesting parts of this novel was you got Lovecraftian lore. You can have people who usually follow Lovecraft lore and try to create pastiche, if you will, or more akin to it, more, and then there are other type of authors that try to use the lore and make it something from themselves, like Caitlin Kiernan, for example. I'm forgetting the name, John Langan, and so on. Then you've got more traditional sense of Lovecraftian novel, like Michael Shea, and so on. And this one is a bit different, okay? This one, he wants to give Lovecraft something like homage, okay, if you will, because it's self-conscious that this book is very related to Lovecraft, and it never really tries to shy about it. You've got here in the beginning, Cthulhu or his essence and so on appears, and all South America is destroyed with a psionic beam or something like that, and so on. And then the world don't know what to do and tries to better understand what it can do, what happened, and so on. In first they think it's aliens. America thinks it was Russia and China because they were the less affected by this beam of thoughts that make all people in the world become a little dazed and doze off and fail and so on, but only killing at a certain radius, like until South America and so on. And so in the beginning you've got a couple of characters that there aren't any. There are, I believe, two characters that you can consider main characters, but they are not, because we follow a lot of characters in this novel. And as I said before, in the beginning you've got the previous event, they call the event, and there's a woman that is trying to investigate more strange tribes in the Papua Nova Guinea and Louisiana and so on. You've got similar information about other people and so on. And after the event, now the world is trying to do whatever they want to do to better understand what happened. Around 50 of 200 pages are about this. Is okay, could be something scientific like nuclear bomb. Okay, they disprove it. It can be Russia. Okay, they have the guns for it and so on. And it's very they are trying to convey all possibilities. And then one person in the White House, a sergeant, says that's Cthulhu, because the point of origin is in the Pacific, where the Relay is, the city of Relay is, and people become crazy and so on. And then we've got all of the world trying to first trying to convince the United States president and so on that it's Cthulhu, and then you've got trying to convey that information to all people, which is very interesting because you've got a person here that really knows about Cthulhu, but of course you've got he's not a mainstream characters and so on. And then we've got some information like this part here, where they even show us some bullet points of what Lovecraft and what Cthulhu is and so on. And then it's very interesting to see that here in the novel, H.P. Lovecraft is like a author that wrote these novels, and people thought it was fiction. Another group of people within the society of fan society, if you will, thinks that he's just dreaming about these things and then putting it into words. So basically it was Nostradamus kind of guy. And so then the second step is how to deal with it, and the third step is, okay, he has a reason, now what? All these parts are very cool. Cool to see how he made Cthulhu harm everyone, how Cthulhu didn't harm people that were drunk at the time, or people who were mentally ill, or people who revered him, if you will. And then it's very interesting to see this perspective of what Cthulhu perceives of humanity. Very brief, and it's all hinted to be told. We never really learn more about Cthulhu, but he tries to convey his thoughts, because someone is a prophet and says that, okay, he thinks like this toward us and so on. And then the whole situation about the world situation, where all countries, some countries are trying to eliminate the threat, others are trying to eliminate one and another, because even in the perspective of a great threat like Cthulhu, like where all the world should unite against a common enemy, even so Russia, China and USA couldn't really get in focus. So this novel ends in a cliffhanger, as I said before, because he even says here that's book one, so he really knows that he's going to put out a book two. To be quite honest, 220 pages. This could be a full-length novel with 400 pages, but whatever. He needs to make money. And it's very interesting because, as I said before, it's a Cthulhu story. We know that he tries to pay homage, but in a different way, like other authors try, like Stephen King and so on, that grab Lovecraftian stories and try to make themselves something different, and sometimes just following the trend of those type of stories. But here we've got an author that, okay, Lovecraft after all was a writer, but was also a visionary and so on. It's very cool. I intend to buy the second novel, but in terms of story, I enjoyed. It's very fast paced, and it's very funny because it even mentioned some guys like the Soshi or Robert Bryce and so on. It's very cool. And then the interaction between the characters and so on, the groups of characters that really follow around, it's very cool. As I said before, I really enjoyed. At a rate of 1 to 5, I will rate this a 4, 3.5. Okay, if this was a scale of 1 to 10, fortunately Goodreads doesn't permit that, I will give this without doubt a 7. Okay, because it's not something that breaks your mind. Oh, what? Something new that okay, I've never seen this before, or you are investing in their character and so on. But it's very cool to see this type of stories, and a bit of comedy, if you, not comedy in terms of haha laughing, but comedy saying, okay, he's talking about Cthulhu, he's giving pointers about what Lovecraft is, what his stories are, and so on. So that's very interesting to see. So, as I said before, 7 out of 10. Thank you.